the grinding operation now for the countersinks. Initially I'll show this setup for grinding the single flute and also the Weldon type countersink with a hole through the center of it. To grind these, we use this attachment. This is a single flute attachment, and this we use in the Model 250A and the 380. It has two drops on this one cam. This is the B drop, which is 3/64ths, and this is the A drop, which is a 32nd. You would set it to one drop or the other depending on the size. The larger sizes use a higher drop, and also depending on the type of material that you're countersinking as to how much relief you're going to need. So we slide the fixture into the chuck, and in the back slide in the drawbar, the collets we use in this are the Bridgeport R8 collets, so you're going to need a different collet for every different shank size that you have. So you tighten the rotating handle in the back and then load the collet in the front. Set the lip, or actually the heel, the back end of the countersink, just a little above center line, and tighten the collet from the drawbar in the back. So that is giving you the relief here. The angles that you set up are, again, no, you're not using oscillation. Make sure you have that locked out of the head so the head is straight in, and you would always set them 10 degrees to the right of the angle that you're looking for. In this case, this is 82 degrees, so I had set down at 92 degrees on the scale. Just turn the handle in the back as you feed in. Just keep it rotating. Just do that until you've ground off enough. If it's badly chipped or damaged, you can also do the plunge type grinding. It's bringing the wheel past the tip of the countersink, feeding in about 5 or 10 thousandths, and then as you rotate, feed the grinding wheel across. The hole type countersinks are ground the same way, except when you're setting these up, you're setting them up so that the hole that goes through the countersink is parallel. So in other words, if you look down on it, you can see the edge of both holes through there, and as you set that in and then go through the same operations you did on the single flute countersink. I'll go over now the multi-flute countersinks. The 2, 4, 6, and 8 flute countersinks are all ground just using the regular cams here. In this case, I've got a 4 flute countersink and grind using number 8 cam. These are ground very much the same as a tap or reamer. The angle that you set it at, it could be either a 60, 82, or 90, whatever. For the 60s, you have to set it so that you're going on the side face of the wheel. You use the OD of the wheel for the flatter angles. Now, I'm going to set this out just to pretty much any distance you'd want. Set the lip on the blade, right hand slot, and setting up for a 60 degree included angle going on the side face, you would set this up at 110 degrees on the right hand side of the scale. Now your cam drops are not very high for countersinks, probably about 6 or 8. Switch on. Let it grind until it sparks out. Now for the 3-flute countersinks, when you're using the 250A or the 380, you have to keep in mind the fact that you're going to be using number 10 cam, and that is going to be pushing it in and out 6 times, so you may end up coming off cam a little prematurely when you're grinding the countersinks. So what you have to do is index back to the number 4, 8, and 12 slots and grind the little secondary and take the high heel off. It's very much the same operation as you use for grinding the 3-flute core drills and also the 3-flute taps. Other things that you should know about the countersinks is that there are a lot of 4- and 6-flute countersinks that are unevenly fluted. They'll have, say, a 6-flute countersink, and it'll have actually 3 groups of 2 flutes. And each group is evenly spaced, but there's not equal space between each individual flute. So those type you cannot grind here because the cam is working only on evenly spaced tools. This is the operation of grinding the countersinks on the Model 252. This is for the 1, 3, and 5-flute countersinks, and also the whole type deburring countersinks. This is a typical setup for a single flute countersink. You would set the lip of the tool right on the setting blade. Now you may have to pull the pin down below the setting blade and swing it out to set the lip, and then you can pull that back. In this case, I've got a right-hand slot for right-hand countersink, and I have number 22 cam on for putting the relief. The relief drops that you would use would be anywhere from 2 to 6 or 8, depending on how large your countersink is. The bigger countersinks have a higher drop on them. You use the number 24 for the 3-flute and the number 26 for the 5-flute, and they also have the left-hand cams that complement those as well. For doing the hole type or Weldon countersinks, you would simply position those so that their actual cutting edge, the leading edge of the countersink, is going to pick up roughly level with the setting blade. There's a large space on these where you're not on the cam, so the actual location is not too critical. Again, using about the same relief as you would with the other countersinks.